What's up, guys? Welcome to Zenith Astrology. Today we're going to be talking about the Aries Ascendant. What is the Aries Ascendant about? The Ascendant is basically the sign that was rising on the eastern horizon when you were born. It doesn't mean that you're an Aries. It only means that you have this as your Ascendant. It sets up the rest of the chart for you and what is going to take place in what houses and what part of life. You will have the look of Aries, but you won't have the deep personality of an Arian. So that's the difference between the sun, the moon, and the ascendant. The ascendant is your first impression that you make on people, and depending on your sun and your moon sign, it can come off. Your sign can actually, depending on what signs you have, can overpower your ascendant. So if you have, say, Aquarius or Scorpio, that actually overpowers your ascendant. Taurus Sun or Taurus Moon, and you have an Aries Ascendant, then okay, the Aries Ascendant is going to be more pronounced. But the Ascendant is basically how you come off in new situations. You go into a room, or you go to a party, a house party, you're only going to show them the Aryan part of yourself. You're not going to show them your sun sign yet. You're not going to show them your moon sign yet. If you go to work with people, yeah, you're going to see your sun sign more. You're going to show your sun sign because those people know you every day. You won't show your moon sign unless it's the same sign. If your moon sign and your sun sign is the same, then you will show both characteristics at work or wherever, because those are both your sun and your moon sign. But your moon sign you won't show to anyone else unless it's your family. On this channel, I wouldn't call you an Aries. I would just call you an Aries Ascendant, unless you have your luminaries there. And that's what I do on this channel, differentiating the differences. So, but Aries is a symbol of war. It's a symbol of attack and leadership. So that you have Aries on the first in the first house. That's what I've noticed about Arians, just for me personally. Your ascendant can really be even worse than the Aries Sun. The negative characteristics can be worse than an Aries Sun or an Aries Moon, because Aries has a tendency to front like it knows about things. And I already got into why that was going on in the Aries Moon video. The moon sign will show you in depth how the sign is. So if you want, you can go check out the moon sign video, and that'll tell you more about the sign. But Aries has a tendency to front. Since they're the first in the zodiac, they can put on a front for security, and just act like they know what they're doing. And since you have Aries in the front of the zodiac, you have the fronting sign in the fronting house, which is the first house. I would say Aries ascendants, are gonna front a lot, like they know. They're just gonna come off always like they know, even if they don't know. That's why you start the zodiac, you're in front of the zodiac, you're going to have a tendency to front about certain things, or put on a front, or put on a but you know, that's why. So this video is going to be a little longer because we're going to get into the houses, but it doesn't mean if the video comes out 45 minutes long that this placement means that you're some type of deep Aries. You know, to get the true Aryan characteristics, you have to go to the sun or the moon sign. I've heard some people say that this is a good placement because equally, you know, some people would say that's cool, some people would say that's actually boring, because then, you know, when you're just going to come off as a person who wants to go first around other people, you're going to want to jump to be first. There's other ascendants that also want to be first. Extroverted cardinal signs are going to want to go first in certain situations. So this is also a sign of innocence. So especially while they're growing up, it gets a little hard to have that type of situation going on as you get older. So, you know, you may find that other people won't let you get away with certain things because I would guess the sun and moon Aries would be more innocent to the core, whereas your ascendant is just going to come off Aries, and then they're going to see that your sun sign or your moon sign is a more mature personality, and they're going to want to hold you to a higher standard of being. You know, they're not going to let you get away with stuff all the time. Alright, so yeah, you had the first house in Aries, so basically that means, you know, that the first house rules like the situation, what was going on when you were first born. So since Aries is a sign of you know, it generally means Aries is a sign of war. So, you know, when you were being born, something warlike could have been taking place. You could have been born for a short period of time into a warlike situation, or your parents could have been warring with each other. Yeah, that your first house is ruled by Aries. You know, that just means that basically what I said, you know, the ascendant, everything that I just explained is about the first house. So it's about the ascendant, but it's about the entire first house. So you could just take everything I said and lump it into the first house. So your second house is ruled by Taurus. So, you know, that means that because Taurus is a sign of values, so Aries ascendants are going to value values. You know, they're going to have deep values, and Taurus ruling the second house, it's, you know, a sign of money. So they're going to be very concerned about wealth, and maybe not even, it doesn't even have to be actual physical money, because Taurus goes deeper than just money. You know, it's about values. It's about what you value. You could find you have a lot of Taurus friends because the second house is about what you value. And since the second house shows the early upbringing, as long as you don't have any malefics in the second house, Taurus in the second house, like I said, you might have a little spat, or people might be having spats around you when it comes to, like, right as you're born. But, you know, as you move into the second house, because the second house shows your early childhood, so you should find it went easy, because Taurus is about ease and comfort and security. So having the second house in your childhood ruled by Taurus is a good thing, and it brings you stability. That's why whereas the Aries moon and the Aries sun, that's why I disagree with, you know, people saying that the ascendant is the sign, because the ascendant is just, you know, how it was when you were born. It's not like you have the Aries sun and moon for life, where your parents are going to be kind of warring with you, or you feel that you're in a war with your parents. If you're an Aries Ascendant with the Gemini Sun, okay, then your parents are going to be, you're going to have a stable childhood because your second house is ruled by Taurus. So third house is ruled by Gemini. So you could find that, having Mercury in the house of Mercury, that all Aries Ascendants should have a way with words. They're going to be speaking quick. They're going to have retorts. A lot of people should like your wit because you have Gemini in the third house. And that gives a lot of intellectualizing things. And since you have Gemini in the third house, it also shows, how you grew up in your school, how you see your neighborhood. So, there's a lot of activity around your neighborhood. And you could have Gemini siblings or Mercurial siblings. They'll be Geminis, or they might even have like something about them that's double. Like they might live, you might have siblings that live a double life, or if you don't have siblings and you're an Aries Ascendant, this just means like for your general neighborhood, how you'll see your neighborhood and how your neighborhood will see you. So, that Mercury rule in the third house should make you very communicative around your neighborhood. So that's actually a good thing because, well, any placement is good, but some people finding this setup boring because if you go deep with it, it's still just as cool and different a setup as if you throw, different types of things into it. So, yeah, the third house, being ruled by Gemini, you should find you're able to, get around your neighborhood pretty easily. And you should find your neighborhood trusting, because Gemini is kind of a sign of trust. You have Mercury ruling your third house. I think for Mercury retrogrades, like, you'll be one of the ones that is the most affected, because even if you're not Mercurial, but that you have like the double Mercury on the third house, you could find during Mercury retrogrades that, your neighbors or your siblings, it's a really tough time where you have to hunker down and, just don't get involved with too much stuff, because your third house is really affected by Mercury retrograde. The fourth house is ruled by Cancer. It's a sign of the moon. So having Cancer here is very good because, it's the sign of the home. So your upbringing was done with a lot of feeling, and people were, trying to take care of you to the best of their ability. And, if you have a good sun and moon sign, I really don't like saying that, so I have to find a way. If you have a less challenging sun and moon sign, because I don't believe there's good or bad, but I try to say good and bad because that's what other people talk about. But there are things in the zodiac that make your life harder. There's people that I've seen that try to say, okay, well, having Scorpio in this place doesn't mean the end of the world. And I know they're trying to say in a general inspiring way, but it does fuck with you if you have these in different areas. So depending on your sun sign, if you have a good a less challenging sun sign, then you'll also feel most at home with people who are Cancerian or have Cancerian traits or characteristics. So, alright, so yeah, that your fifth house is ruled by Leo, and this is also another childhood house. So, all throughout the houses, if you see here, you have all of the one of the easiest setups for a good childhood, because you have all the your thing might start off shocking in the beginning, because Aries is a planet of war. So when you were born, there could have been something shocking, but the rest of the houses line up. You have very nurturing signs in all of the childhood houses. You chose to have these situations in your houses. So yeah, that the fifth house is ruled by Leo. You have the fifth. That's what gives you also a strong ego, because you have the ego in the house of the ego. So you could find the fifth house shows like how you do your art. So you'll want to do it in a Leo type of way. The fifth house also shows children, and they say Leo is a barren sign, so you might have difficulty having kids when you have the fifth house ruled by Leo. So you might not have wanted kids, or you might have to think about what that actually means. So you have the sign of the child. Well, all the beginning signs are childhood signs. So you have the sign of the child in the house of children. So if you do have kids, they will have Leo characteristics, or have a prominent sun if they're not sun or moon sign Leos. They'll have Leo characteristics. Yeah, so you have the sixth house is ruled by Virgo. So this is a house of work. So you have a Mercury ruled sign in the sixth house. So you could find that it also shows your habits. So you'll have be very concerned with health, because Virgo is a sign of health. When you double that, it makes you deeply concerned with health. So you'll be more concerned with health than a lot of Aries Sun and Aries Moon that I've seen. They do start to get it, but they take a little while to realize it, because they want to lead on everything. So when someone else comes and finds something that's unhealthy, Aries Sun and Aries Moon might have a tendency to not take on the information, because that's the way they want to do stuff. But the Aries Ascendant, should do it in a better way, more of a listening type of way, since they have Virgo doubled. It also shows your health, what type of health you will have. Virgo rules the digestive system and stuff, so you have to be careful with that, or make sure that you focus on that and treat it right. Don't be eating just anything, and your sixth house of health should be good for you. All right. Then we have the seventh house ruled by Libra. So that you have Libra here, you can find that it makes you very indecisive about relationships. And the seventh house is about how you see others. So you can find others too indecisive, and too concerned with relationships, and it shows what type of partner that you will have. It might not be a Libra, an actual Libra, but they'll have certain planets in their chart that are based on Libran characteristics. They'll have a Venus Sun conjunction if they're not an actual Libra. Even though that doesn't make them a Libra, they'll have a small percentage, enough to get your seventh house going. You could become a relationship counselor, because Libra is about diplomacy and meeting people halfway. And so, yeah, you could find more Aries Ascendants being relationship counselors than an Aries Sun, who might have a different seventh house. They might have Capricorn there instead of and be a it's the opposite sign, a Cancer Ascendant. They might have Capricorn there, so that would make them at least not really want to do relationship counseling. But that you have a double Libra there, you could find a lot of Aries Ascendants wanting to lead you on how to be in a relationship. Okay, you have the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio. So you could find a lot of Scorpios will transform you and help you to become a better person. So that you have the double Scorpio on the 8th house, that's going to make you, because you have the 8th house of sex being emphasized by sex, so this is going to make you very sexual, even more so than an Aries Sun or Aries Moon. So you have to be careful with that. That you have Scorpio also, double Scorpio in the 8th house. You won't be like a Scorpio, but you're gonna be you'll get them. You'll tend to get them even more than Aries Suns or Aries Moons, because you'll have the sign of Scorpio in the 8th house of Scorpio. 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius, which is the natural house of Sagittarius. So you will find a lot of your luck comes from Sagittarians. You will find, a lot of the luck that you have is going to come from overseas travel and 9th house type things. So now you have Jupiter, the house of philosophy, on the house of philosophy. This is going to make Aries Ascendants very philosophical. And this is why I say, you have to make sure that you're not doing the Sun, Moon, and the Ascendant together, because they do come off different. It will affect the Sun and the Moon person to a degree, but not as much as the Ascendant person. But that still doesn't mean that this makes you more Aries. It just means that, you'll be more philosophical than the typical Aries, the Aries Moon or Sun, who might have Capricorn in this house, and they'll be a lot less philosophical or believe in God. So you can find a lot of Aries Ascendants that are confident in a belief in God. They might not believe in actual religion or anything too religious, but they'll be, into believing in something, which, I don't know, to me, I like people who believe in stuff. So I think it's a humble way you can see somebody, regardless of, I know, some things have been mixed up and some religions have been used in the wrong way, but for me, I like people who believe in stuff, because I find them humble. Whereas the people who don't believe, I find them kind of intellectually dangerous and haughty. So, and not people I would really trust. I like people who believe in something, that something is watching them. So you should be into that, since you're a Aries Ascendant. Yeah, so your 10th house is ruled by Capricorn. So the 10th house that you have Saturn in the house of Saturn, you're going to find that your career is kind of always a struggle, because Saturn releases that house when around the time that you're like 30, 32, 33, so 34. So you could find that your career, how you want to do your career. And it kind of makes sense because when you have this as your ascendant, it's about getting to know you as an individual. Um, that's the pattern that I see here. It's like you're kind of babied, so to speak, in the beginning part of the zodiac. So, towards the end is when it's going to get a little bit harder for you. And so it's going to be hard in the 10th house. You're going to find that you're going to have to work extra hard with your career and your reputation and your status. But that you have Capricorn here, that, it means double the potential. It's double the struggle with your career, but it's also double the potential because you have, if you have the sun in this house, it's going to offset it a bit. So you have to take everything in the chart into consideration. But in general, you'll find that your 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 career and your reputation is kind of a struggle. And I just see it as, it's kind of like, because you need to focus on yourself first. Since you kind of get it pretty good in the beginning. You're supposed to like step back and see what it is, like how you are in relation to other people before you rise or come up in a 10th house way. Aries is a sign of ambition, so you might find that you want to strike out and be first and you want to win, but then if your sun sign and your moon sign are not in Aries, you're going to get tired of it. So you have to balance it a bit. You have to make sure that you're not coming off too abrasive with people when you're with them, because then that ends up ruining your reputation. And you do have Aries in you to a tiny degree, so Aries is kind of about reputation also. So you could just make sure that you're doing it in a positive way. And you'll find a lot of Capricorns challenging you because you have the 10th house ruled by Capricorn. So you could find when you're around Capricorns, they increase your public personality, but they also decrease it at first. So it's going to be a struggle because wherever you have Capricorn, it's about a struggle in the beginning. It's not about karma because you have to have a luminary there, but Capricorn represents in a general sense, putting one foot in front of the other in that house. So yes, you have the 11th house of goals and wishes is the house of Aquarius. Find a lot of your friends will be Aquarian because you have double Uranus there. And if they're not Aquarian suns or luminaries, I don't really call them Aquarian, but they'll have some characteristics by having Uranus near the sun or Uranus near a personal planet. So, yeah, that you have, so you're just going to have more Aquarian characteristics than someone with just their moon, their sun, and their moon in the sign of Aries. You're going to want to fight for social causes. You could even want to more than an Aries sun. Not more than an Aries moon, because I already explained why that is. Because they have a deep connection with the country, but that you have Aquarius emphasized twice. And the house of Aquarius makes you someone who's willing to stand up to social discord and be a leader in situations where people are being wrongfully done or things are not fair in society. And so, yeah. So you have Pisces in the 12th house, and this is the house of dreams. It shows how you sleep, how you like to sleep. So that you have Pisces here. You could find that Pisceans can, depending on your sun sign, if you have a Pisces sun and a Pisces moon, then you won't mind. But if you're just an Aries Ascendant, you know, that's about, you know, being on the go, getting things started, double time, because, you know, you have that in the house of getting things started. So you can find that Pisces suns are opposite to your personality. You know, they're going to want to, you're going to feel like you want to escape with them because they're a sign of escape. You know, so you could feel that they're, that happens to me when I get around a Pisces, and I have Venus in Pisces, and I feel like they make me less focused, and, you know, I want to be focused, and I don't want to lose my focus. So if your sun sign is a sign of focus, and you know, then Pisces are going to kind of not make you feel too good, because it's the house of secrets, and you could find that Pisces, they'll be, you know, kind of make you, you'll just feel like at a loss with the sign of Pisces, because wherever you have Neptune, it tends to drain you. So if you're a Taurus sun and you have a Aries rising, okay, you will like Pisces, because both Taurus and Pisces, they like to chill out. You know, they both like to chill. But if you have signs that like to go, be on the go. If you have a Gemini sun and you have Pisces in the 12th, then Pisces is not going to make you feel good, but, you know, they will be, in a general sense, teach you about universality, the bigger picture, and you know, you just have to be careful with them, because they're also a sign of illusion. So you could find that they can be very elusive to you, and you might get involved with some, and they bring out a lot of 12th house stuff, hidden stuff, and kind of be able to hit your psyche in a way that no other sign can, because you know, they're kind of ruling that house double time. So yeah, so this was my Aries Ascendant video, and if you would like a reading, you can contact me at the link below, and we can set up a price. Yeah, so this was my Aries Ascendant video, and yeah, the next video I'm going to do is Mercury in Aries. Okay guys, take care.
Yeah.